Hey y'all, it's Jess. Welcome back to Roots and Refuge Farm. I am hanging out in my garden right now with my little sister. Here she is. She's so cute, isn't she? And she has brought her little baby dog. Come on, Boomski. Come on. Do you want to be a YouTube star? So Boomer is like my nephew dog, and I was there the day that his gotcha day, the day Jewel adopted him from the animal shelter, and we're going to tell you about that in just a second. But first, I want to take the opportunity to remind you guys to check out your local Tractor Supply store, because on Saturday, August 25th, Tractor Supplies all over the country are going to be hosting adoption events in store to help pups like Boomer, who is like the poster dog for adoption. He's Jewel's baby dog and has been for a long time, and we are going to tell you all about that. But there are so many great dogs and cats and pets that are available through adoption. So I loved having the opportunity this month to work with Tractor Supply on their Out Here with the Animals campaign to let you guys know about these efforts that they're making to get these awesome animals new homes. So all over the country, August 25th, check your local store. They're partnering with local animal shelters and rescues. They're also holding supply drives all throughout the month, so it's not too late to get your supplies in, and definitely check out these adoption events. Also, for your own pets, they have tons of sales going on this week on all your favorite brands. That's where we go for so many of our pet supplies. Please look into your local Tractor Supply and check out their store on August 25th, because you might find your Boomer. Isn't that right, Boomski? Isn't that right?
Boomer is 7. We adopted him June 3rd of, let's see, I was 18. Jesus, that was 7 years, 2011. He's been around for a while, and he has been my best friend since, I can't say the first day, because it was a rough time at first.
I remember. But there were a lot of shoes sacrificed at the beginning of your friendship.
Only 4 pair. He was a real good dog. He only ate 4 pairs of shoes ever in his lifetime, and now that I say that, he's gonna go home and turn into a puppy again and eat all my shoes. But
boom.
Right here, Puff. Okay. Come on, turn around. We don't want your butt in the shot. Sit.
Come on.
Sit. There you go.
So we actually went together the day that Jewel got Boomer. She was 18, and did you have a car then?
My car had just broken down. The alternator had gone out, but I called her and said, my car won't work, but I have to be at the animal shelter at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning because my dog might get adopted by somebody else, because they have to have them for a certain period of time before they can adopt him out.
First available day.
Yes, it was the first day that he was available for adoption, and I called her saying, I don't know what it's gonna take to fix my car. I don't know how much it's gonna cost me, but I have $55 and I have to go get my dog in the morning. And so she came and picked me up, and it was about 8:30 when we pulled up at the animal shelter, and luckily this guy and both of his brothers were still there. And I knew that he was my dog because he laid with his back to me, not paying any attention, while both his brothers crawled all over him and were yapping at me, wanting me to pick them. I wanted the quiet one. But I ended up naming him Boomer for Boomer Sooners. He's got his little OU tag on here, and he grew into his name. He has a bark that will shake our entire house.
And he has been just a really great dog. They thought he was a lab at first. That's what they had said.
He was, I thought he was a pure blood lab. He looked just like a lab, and then he grew up a little bit, and I had him over at Jess's house playing with her German Shepherd, and I looked at him and realized that his ears perking up was because he started looking a lot like Sam.
Yeah.
I've called him my excellent value puppy since day one, because I bought my best friend within a $55 adoption fee.
Yeah.
He really has been my best friend. He's saved my life on a couple occasions. That's his paw print tattooed on my arm because he has made quite the imprint on my life, all because I was insistent on going to adopt him instead of fixing my car like a responsible adult. Granted, I did fix it later that day.
I told you guys before that my first job when I was just a kid was volunteering at the animal shelter. So any sort of like rescue initiative for you know, pets is like a cause really near and dear to my heart, because that was something that really just, I think, molded me a lot into the animal lover that I am. And as someone who farms, you can't live this life without having some care for animals, but there is definitely a difference between a person who is an animal lover and one who's not. And I totally spent...
George just ran him off.
Yeah, he just went after George?
No, George ran him off. Meet George. They will have dogs and cats available at the adoption.
So yeah, I totally love any sort of situation where people are trying to help animals get adopted, because not only is it great for the animals, it's great for the families. As you can see with Boomer, he's had such a positive impact on Jewel's life, and was definitely a good thing. And he's absolutely the most spoiled dog ever.
He's my baby.
I'm glad y'all got to meet my little sister. She's so cute.
Nice to meet everyone.
my baby sister. Jewel's 7 years younger than me, so I have one brother and one sister. And we've always been really close, even though at certain periods of our life was really different, because, you know, that's a fairly good size age gap for sometimes. But now that we're both adults, it's pretty much evened out. So here is David. Say hi to YouTube. Hello. David. David came by. He lives up towards Memphis, is that right? And he is an avid gardener and a viewer of our channel, so he came and we've been doing some seed swapping. This is David's seed collection. Of course, I've got mine all over the place here, and we have been swapping, and I'm feeling very validated as a human about my seed collection right now. Like, I feel pretty good about it. So David, why don't you tell us a little bit about your gardening efforts?
Grew up on the farm. Ended up doing some other things, and living in the middle of town, I've just gotten back to wanting to grow my own food. So I've got a corner lot close to the school. A lot of kids walk through my garden. So I'm turning my complete quarter-acre corner lot into edible landscaping.
So cool.
So chickens, bees, fruit. Did a permaculture design course through Oregon State University, and trying to get community gardens going in the area as well.
Awesome. I think that is so cool. We've been sharing stories, sharing seeds. I've been looking at the pictures of his place, which is absolutely beautiful. Do you have any sort of like media or anything like that people can follow you on?
I'm not doing really YouTube or anything like that, other than, well, Crittenden County Community Garden Facebook page.
Okay, cool. So I can link that. So if you guys want to check out what they're doing, I will put the link below so y'all can go take a look. Y'all are getting to meet all kinds of people today. It was a busy day at my house. Lauren, which you guys have met before. Lauren is my best friend, and she's really into herbalism. And today we're working on some projects for one of her school projects. She's in school to be a midwife.
I attend Indie Birth Midwifery School, and in my plant medicine course, we are going to do an infused oil today.
So I figured we would do this together and show you guys. This is something that you guys have asked me about before. I've mentioned when growing calendula that I like to use it for skin health, and you guys have asked me, how do you do that? So this is how. Or I guess I should say this is one of the ways how. It's pretty versatile. The way that you dry these things, so you guys saw me grow these and pick these, very, very, very easy to grow. It's also called pot marigold. Some people pronounce it calendula. This has come up in the comments before. A lot of the people that live in the South say calendula. I guess that's maybe just a tomato thing.
I think it's a tomato thing. Sometimes I say calendula, sometimes I say
it kind of like rolls off the tongue different ways. But pot marigolds, we could just simplify it, call them pot marigolds. But this is a very, very easy, beautiful flower to grow in your garden. They come in different shades of orange and yellow. I've got one I'm trying this season called Zeolites. It's like a pink and yellow. I've never grown it before, so we'll see how it goes. But it is great for pollinators. It's a good companion plant in your garden to bring in some diversity. And all you do is when the flowers are fully open in the morning, you just pick them and then bring them in your house and arrange them in one single layer upside down with the stems up, just like this, until they dry. And as they're drying, you can kind of turn them over if you need to let them get some air circulation. And then once they're completely dry, you just loosely pack them in a jar, just like I have here. And then we can go to the oil infusion. So this is one really easy way to use herbs.
Yes,
and I'll let Lauren tell us about it.
So she's gone ahead and dried calendula and some chamomile here. Then we're gonna cover it with an oil. And you can really use any carrier oil for calendula. And really most of my infused oils, I'm gonna use a light oil like almond, avocado, apricot, sunflower, those kinds of things. You can use coconut oil, but if you're gonna use coconut oil, you are gonna actually wanna put that in a sunny shelf so it stays liquefied.
Because coconut oil solidifies over 76 degrees.
Totally. Lots of people will tell you that your oil infused concoctions need to be in the sunny window, and I've actually been taught recently that that's actually an archaic teaching. It's because they used things like lard and fats and stuff that needed to be used. So if you're actually going to use a lighter oil, you want to go ahead and keep that away from the heat because it can make it go bad quicker. So
good to know. Today we're just using olive oil. That's what I've got, and it works. That is considered a light oil, and most people already have that in their kitchen. So if you want to make an oil infusion and that's what you've got,
definitely it's what I use most of the time. So we're just gonna pour it right over.
And these are chamomile flowers, which I bought, just dried chamomile flowers. You can order those online. I got those actually at a local grocery store. Just getting all the air bubbles out of there.
So this is some Calendula Infused Oil that I made back in April, as well as some Calendula Lavender. And I always keep these on hand, and we'll probably shortly be turning these into salves for all sorts of skin issues: baby bottoms, boo-boos, scrapes, cuts, dried hands, sunburn. So these are just kind of your all-purpose skin soothing oils.
Of course, you can use those by putting them in salves like Lauren was talking about, and that's just basically putting a mix of oil and wax together. You can have other herbs in it. If you've ever seen, there's all kinds of recipes that you can make for salves. And a lot of times what you can do, if you have a salve recipe that you like, but you want to add the components of these oils and the benefits of these flowers or these herbs that you have infused, in the place where it might call for olive oil, you just use infused olive oil in place of that. And so you're just basically compacting those benefits into the salve that you're making.
It's also a great way to use infused oils if you're concerned about using essential oils. Maybe you're wanting to use this for your baby. I can totally safely put a lavender infused oil on my new baby, whereas I'd be a little concerned about safety measures with essential oils because those are so potent and such strong medicine. If you're wanting to make an oil for children, you can be completely unconcerned about using an infused oil.
And you don't even have to make a salve. You can use these oils directly on your skin. I know that this summer there were a couple of times that I spent a little longer out in the garden than I should have, ended up with a sunburn, and putting on like the Calendula lavender oil, it really helped soothe my skin and kept me from blistering in those cases. These flowers, all of them, calendula and chamomile, lavender, any of these are all calming things, and they really help with anxiety if you have a child that has a hard time going to sleep. These are all really good things to just rub on the skin before bed because they're very soothing. So it's so much easier than you might think to be able to use those things and to grow them in your garden. I think a lot of people get a little overwhelmed at the idea of trying to grow any sort of herbal medicine in their home garden, or they think, I just don't have the space for that, I don't have the time to learn about it. But like, these flowers are just a really good introduction into herbal medicine, because if you've followed me for very long at all, I am a huge advocate of planting your garden diversely and using flowers along with your edibles to bring in pollinators and just create a really diverse and healthy habitat for your beneficial insects. And these flowers do that, and then have a benefit after that as well of being good in your medicine cabinet.
Here's some good suggestions for flowers you can infuse in oil or even other herbs. Plantain, dandelion, violets, calendula, lavender, oregano, thyme, rosemary. Those are also some great herbs that you can use maybe instead of essential oils if you're wanting to get the oregano properties that are really antimicrobial that are concerned about using oregano essential oil because it's such a hot oil.
The thing with herbalism is it's not like you have to do it a certain way. You can make a tincture, you can make a tea, you can infuse the oil, and there are all different avenues that you can get the benefits of a plant into your body or onto your body.
If you're wanting to preserve a plant, you can easily probably infuse it into an oil. And garlic is another great one that's great for ear infections. If you've got it in your garden, you can probably infuse it into an oil.